funny, good friend of mine. Give it up for Stacy Axler!
Oh my God, keep it going for Eddie Sandberg for hosting this show and keeping us all here. My name is Stacy Axler. I know what you're thinking. That's the name of every villain in every 90s high school movie. I'm Stacy. I'm that, cheerleader who everyone likes. All the boys like her. She's really confident. And my parents named me Stacy, and now here I am. Yes, I do feel like I am confident about some things, though. I'm very confident that I need to, hype myself up before I have a conversation. I'm one of those people. Unlike my namesake, Stacy, from the 90s movies, I was bullied a lot in school. I'm now 30 years old. I'm also bullied as an adult. I'm bullied by my bank. Who here has signed up for fraud alerts? Anyone sign up for fraud alerts from their bank? Okay, a few people. If you haven't signed up, do not do it. It's an excuse for your bank to bully you. I am irresponsible with money. This is why I signed up for fraud alerts. They were like, this will help you keep track of money. I was like, great, that's what I need, but I still spend money the same way and I don't get a fraud alert. Like, I'll spend $500 in a GameStop, no fraud alert. I'll shop at TJ Maxx in a fugue state. I'll go in there, 3 hours will pass, I don't know what happened. I'll open my bags at home and have $200 worth of dog toys. I don't have a dog. No fraud alert. And then the other weekend, I went into a Barnes & Noble. I tried to buy 2 books, and the card wouldn't go through. I got 5 fraud alerts. They're like, Stacy, something's not making sense. It's 12:30 p.m. on a Saturday, and you're trying to buy something from Barnes & Noble? And it's like, I read Bank of America. Okay, I read big, fat books. And one of those books was the Bible, and I will never know what's in it. So thank you, Bank of America. Thanks. Yeah, I was a little bit bullied by them, but it's okay. I'm trying to move on. I'm a very anxious person. You probably were able to tell that by now. How my anxiety manifests now as an adult is I'm a germaphobe. I hate germs. And I do that where I think everything that I have is the worst possible thing. I think that every cramp is polio. I think that every pimple is smallpox. And my doctors always say, no, that those have been eradicated. They say, the medical community, but all right, whatever, I'm not an expert, but I am the internet, and so I am an expert. I always get in a little fight with my doctors because I always go to them and I'm like, I think I'm pregnant, and they're like, Stacy, we've talked about this, you don't have penetrative vaginal intercourse. Well, maybe so, but Jesus came from somewhere. Where? I'm Jewish, I don't know, and I wasn't able to buy the Bible, so I don't know, but I listened to the Christians, and I've heard you all talk about Jesus, so I know some things. So take that, doctors. Take that. I don't know. I'm actually glad to be a germaphobe because the way that my anxiety manifests now is much better than it did when I was younger. When I was a teenager, I had a condition called pica. And if you don't know, pica is where you eat things that are not normally considered food. It's not as hot as it sounds. For me, I would eat paper. So the more stressed I was, the more paper I would eat. And sometimes my classmates would see me do it and they'd be like, what are you doing, Stacy? And I was one of those teenagers who I thought I was ahead of the curve, I learned Elvish just for the heck of it. And I was like, you all don't get it. And now I look back and I'm like, no, I don't get it. What was I doing? Eating paper did nothing for my life. Did it solve my medical problems? No. Did it fix my anxiety disorder? No. Did it actually help me nutritional wise and made me really bulk up? Time will tell. But I'm glad that I don't do that anymore. But sometimes when someone prints out something on paper and the paper comes out of the printer all hot and fresh and it smells really good, I'll look at the paper and I'm like, oh, paper, and I'm like, no, I don't do it anymore. Sometimes I still look at the paper and I'm like, ooh, paper. PTSD, and I have to remind myself that. Every time I tell this joke, someone comes up to me after the fact and they're like, yeah, you still eat paper, don't you? And I'm like, I can't really confirm or deny, but I will say this one thing, which is I got a flyer to come to this show, and it's gone now. So your marketing dollars are paying off, I will say that. I don't know, something interesting about being anxious is like I listen to a lot of rumors, and how that manifested recently is I am a person who has a menstrual cycle. And if you are not a person who has a menstrual cycle, you might not know this, but your doctors will get so mad at you when you don't know when your menstrual cycle is. But I may be like you, I don't know when my menstrual cycle is unless blood is actively coming out of me. And then I'm like, forget about it. So my doctors were like, you have to track this, Miss Axler, you have to use a period app. And I was like, great, I'll download it. But then 2 weeks ago, people were like, delete your period apps, the government's gonna steal the data. And I was like, oh my God, you are right. I can't let the government know when my period is. So I deleted it. But in doing that, I don't know when my period is. So the government doesn't know when my period is, but also now Stacey Axler doesn't know when my period is. And I'm like, oh God. I was like, how do I track this? And I was like, I know, I'll just track it on a paper calendar. So then I started marking it on a calendar, but then I was like, oh my God, what if the calendar gets in the hands of the government? Because I was like, what if the government finds, I am a very anxious person, as I said, so I was like, the government's gonna take my paper calendar. So I was like, what can I do to baffle the government? And I was like, I know, I'll come up with a code word. A code word that only I know that means my period. And I'm gonna tell you all what the code word is, and the code word is Mitch McConnell. So now, every single month, I'll write down Mitch McConnell in my calendar. So I know, I'm like, oh yeah, Mitch McConnell. And my hope, honestly, is that the government does take my calendar. And then Mitch McConnell will see his name in my calendar, and he'll be so touched he's in a calendar. He'll be like, I don't need to be in the government anymore. I was in a calendar. And we'll leave the government and retire. That's my hope for the world. So that's what I've been doing recently. Yeah, so it's an interesting tactic, but it's one I think is working. I struggle with like making friends and like getting friendly with people because I'm so nervous all the time. And so when I was told to work from home, people were like, I can't work from home, and I was like, I love my home. I love. But then I had to leave my last job actually because my job was like, oh my God, we all have to go back into the office. It's better here. Don't you all want to go back into the office? And everyone's like, no, we do not want to go back into the office. And my last job was like, everyone, you don't get it. If we go back into the office, we'll have a pizza party for everyone. And I was like, no, you don't get it. I've been having a pizza party for me, only me, every day since I've been here. It's been wonderful. I've gotten all the pizza and I've done none of the small talk. It has been so good. My job set up a 401k for me. It should be called a 401 IDK because I don't know what's going on with that. I clicked on, there's a little box on it, and I clicked on it, and it was like, plan for your retirement. And I was like, you know what, I'm 30, why not? Click. And they were like, Stacey, good news, you are eligible to retire. And then it's like that field where they like, you know, like put in the date. And they're like, you're eligible to retire in 2165. And I was like, no, bad news, bad. Like 2165, hopefully by that point I'll be dead. And then even if I'm not, the earth will be gone. Like the earth is already sad enough as it is. How can I retire and cruise to Bermuda if there's no ocean? And I know for a fact there's not going to be any trees left in 2165, and that means no paper. So I can't do it. I can't retire at that time. I just don't know anymore. I've been thinking a lot about this one thing I want to propose to the audience, which is who here is a mom? Anyone here a mom? Oh, wonderful! A round of applause for the moms out there. That is wonderful. Dad. All right, wonderful. For the dads, I want to ask a question, and the question is this: why is it that when people people become dads, their sneezes become so loud. I really have struggled, and I really want to know, because I have many friends who are becoming parents, and then my friends who are becoming dads, they sneeze a normal decibel, and then they become a dad, and they're like, achoo! Like, what's going on? Like, do you have to be a loud sneezer when you become a dad? Like, it scares me. I tend to think that it's because when you become a dad, you want to say so much and it just comes out in a sneeze. You're saying achoo, but you're really saying, I work 40 hours a week in a job I can't stand! So, I hear you, Dad. That's just what I wanted to tell you. I hear you, loud and clear. I want to say this, and that is, why is manslaughter a bad thing, but man's laughter a good thing? That's a thinker. I'll just leave that one alone. They're both creepy to me. No, I like when you laugh. It's fun. But I will say this, I love true crime. True crime is one of my big passions. It's like comedy and true crime. And I love listening like true crime podcasts. But I hate when I like click on a podcast and they're like, before this podcast, we just have an advertisement. And it's an advertisement for the happiest thing. They're like, have you downloaded Cryptic Puzzle? And I'm like, I don't care about Cryptic Puzzle. I want to know who needs to be found. I don't know. I feel like the true crime podcasts need to like step it up a little bit. Just like I'm clicking on that for a very particular genre. I will say this, I have a bad habit, and I wanted to share with you all, and that is the fact that I became a subscriber to a Facebook page recently called Are We Dating the Same Man? And let me just say this, I saw it come up, and I was like, we definitely are not, but I want to become a member of this group. The premise of this group is very simple. People post like photos of the man they're dating and they're like, is anything wrong with this guy? I'm getting some red flags. And then I was like, oh, that's so interesting, but I couldn't see the content until I like joined the group. So I was like, click, I'm gonna join. And now every day I check this group and it's like, are we dating the same man? And I'm like, I definitely not, because I'm not dating any man. but I want to see what's going on. But in like reading about all these red flags, I'm like, am I creating a red flag just now in reading about these red flags? Like, am I becoming more toxic by reading them? You know what? I don't know, and I prefer to never know. But I just love that Facebook group. So anyway, it's city-based, everyone. So join the group today. I'm going to end with this one thing. I'm actually going to end with two things, and one segues into the other. Do you ever become friends with someone you really don't like just to see the inside of their house? Okay, maybe. But here's the thing, though. Sometimes you dislike someone so much, you're like, what do you live like? What's your life like? Like, I need to get inside. And you're like, the only way I can get inside is to get closer to you. So you have to like foster a fake relationship, basically be like, I just need to get inside this house. And then when you're in that, no one else is doing this. Okay, and I'm not doing it either. This is just a hypothetical. This is truly what's going to end with though. A lot of my friends are buying houses now, and I'm very proud of them. But I will say this. I don't understand homeowner associations, and during COVID times, I was like, I have nothing to do. I'm just going to join a homeowner association. I don't own a home. They don't know that. I joined the meeting and I was like, they're going to find me out. And after the meeting, they're like, see you next month, Stacy? And I was like, you will see me next month. It's been over 2 years. I keep coming. 6 months ago, I was like, my fence is broken. They're like, we'll fix it. They still haven't. The fence doesn't exist. But this is truly the point that I'm coming to. It's this point. And the point is, I am now the president of the Woodside